What's up, friends? Thank you for joining me in my studio to talk about martial arts, fighting, philosophy, life. Today, we are going to talk about a one-night, four-man light heavyweight tournament that is happening in Amsterdam. But first, a knockout.
Get the explosion out of left. Oh, man, that landed. That's it.
Crazy. I gotta earn your attention, earn your time with me. We're gonna dig into this four-man tournament. It's happening Levels Fight League, October 27th. But first, let's look back to last year. It was an 8-man heavyweight one-night tournament. We go back in time, March 11th, 2023, Amsterdam, Netherlands, 8-man heavyweight tournament. Mario Pinto, the smallest of the 8, 3 wins in one night, comes out chill and mellow and starts quick. Watch this. Bink. And then behind the ear, puts his man out. The sequence is gorgeous. Overhook will let you get to the ear, go to the body first, over top, touch. And now he's so springy and so elastic. The right hand's gentle. The left one comes up, he's underneath, misses on both, but he's in balance to rip him with the right knuckles. Bink. You can see into a man's ear, it's time to pop him. He does so over and over. Front of the ear, back of the ear, front of the ear, back of the ear. Puts the man out. Look, mellow. The job is not done. We did not come here to dispatch of one heavyweight. Oh no, we got to do 3. And then Bink, right here, right knuckles, the chip shot. So his man is going super wide with his right. He's got to get his target outside at Bink. Over the top, drops him to the ground, and then he would stay on top. You're gonna fight 3 dudes in one night. You gotta come into the final fight as unhurt as possible. So you touch and don't get touched, and when possible, you stay on top, you ride the man, you wear him out, and you finish him wherever possible. In the finals, Morena Kassapor, the Kung Fu Panda, takes him to the ground, body lock, rips him to the ground, and then here again, moving, dodging, and touching when he can. He would ride that one out as well. 3 men in one night, Mario Pinto. I'm telling you about Mario Pinto. Do not forget this. In 24 months, when he's a top 10 UFC heavyweight, you saw it here in Levels Fight League. I love going to Amsterdam and commentating Levels Fight League. The venue is this small, super intimate fight club environment. It's such an awesome live event. You can watch it streaming, but if you're in the Netherlands, come out, man. It's so fun. One night and Prix, October 27th. Let's take a look at the matchups and the bracket here to start. Rafael Carvalho, former Bellator champion, killer on top. Takes people down and grinds them up, but he's got sick knockouts. I'm going to show you a couple of those. Leandro Ataides, a star from one championship. I don't know if he's going to be your favorite to win this, but he will have your favorite knockouts when I show them to you in just a second. Matthew Byfield, young and less experienced than the other 3, but man, keep an eye on this guy. He's so skilled everywhere, and he's very smart. Lee Chadwick, 29 wins, Bellator, PFL, fought all over the world, carved out of granite, very aggressive. This is the bracket. They will face each other, and then the winners will fight in the main event for the LFL light heavyweight title. I'm gonna break down some of their skills and their attributes and some of their action. Let's start with Rafael Carvalho. Bink. This guy's so talented, super aggressive. He can take you down and smash you up, but that threat opens up all kinds of striking, and he has some sick knockouts. I want to take a second and thank the family at Bellator and PFL for letting us use this footage. Wonderful people over there. Awesome fights. Let's dig into it. He's facing Alessio Sakara here, dangerous guy. The knee comes underneath, watch toes, Bink, 2 touches, got him wobbled a little bit. Now pressure, and Bink, elbow behind the ear. Let's look at that entire sequence right here. So we're gonna start with the knee. Now that knee may catch elbow, it might catch body, but he's gonna go back to it. Touches the hand, engages it, and Bink. Here, goes right back to the body with the toe stab. Underneath, 2 touches on it, look. Touch. That's what gives him that little neurological wobble. Time to overwhelm him. Step to the knee again. That car crash gets him to cover up. Engage the hand, come over top, and Bink. Elbow behind the ear. This guy has some crazy, crazy knockouts in his life. It's going to be awesome to have him in this light heavyweight Grand Prix. One other thing about Carvalho that's fascinating is he's got a real history with Dutch fighters and the Dutch audience. Melvin Manhoef is a legend in the Netherlands. He had 2 fights with Manhoef. The first one, he won a decision, but you ask some Dutch friends and they'll tell you Melvin got robbed, so they had to fight again. And when they did, it was a sick one. Let's take a look at some of the footage. This is going to be the finish. Wraps the foot right around the jaw of Melvin. We love you, Melvin Manhoef. Look here. This is the key to it. The fake takedown gets Melvin to freeze ever so slightly, and then the left hand reaches and just fills the lane, and he's got Melvin leaning back, and bang, wraps the foot around the jaw, takes out a legend in their second meeting. They did almost 10 rounds right there, just wraps the foot along the jaw. In the 10th of 10 rounds in a 2-fight campaign that they had, Rafael Carvalho takes out that legend. And man, the Dutch don't forget. Remember, if it ain't Dutch, it ain't much. Bink. In the first matchup of the 4-man light heavyweight one-night tournament, it is Carvalho versus Leandro Ataides. Leandro is such an explosive, powerful guy, shuts people's lights off. I'm going to show you some sick footage. I want to thank our friends at One Championship for teeing us up with this. A great group of people, and they have so many brilliant fights. Thank you, One Championship. Let's dig into it. Look at this. Flying knee, and you just look. You see the explosive athleticism, but it's subtle, supple, sophisticated skills as well. I like this one when you watch it because look how relaxed he appears. Okay, behind the ear, a little touch underneath, an uppercut, and 2 shots. They look like glancing shots thrown by a relaxed shadow boxer, and that's why they're so powerful. We can look at it from multiple angles. You see clearly that man is unconscious, but that one behind the ear, the little one, that's the one. 2 more. Oh, just jacks the jaw. I love this sequence, my favorite of the lot because of how intelligent it is. So the Superman punch lands, you see the jaw shake, big. And now the left hook is there, again, calm and relaxed, and that sets him up for the uppercut. Feed him up underneath. Now, his man will cover up. Look how smart this is. Goes to the leg, right? Goes to the leg, and then he'll touch the guard to remind him to cover and use it to get underneath. You see this choice made sometimes. You rarely see it made so effectively and intelligently. Pours it on him and gets him out of there. Leandro Ataides, I think for a lot of people, is the favorite to win this tournament. The other opening round matchup, one-night light heavyweight Grand Prix, Matthew Byfield versus Lee Chadwick. Now, Byfield is a dark horse in this one. If you don't know a lot about him, it's because he only has 8 or 9 fights. He has not as well traveled as these guys, but super smart, very analytical. He makes high percentage choices. And I want to show you a sequence of his from Cage Steel. Thank you, Cage Steel, by the way. We love watching your fights, love breaking them down. I'm going to show you from Cage Steel this sequence, and it gives you an idea of how smart he is. Watch his eyes and watch his hand. It's just gonna try to distract you, mislead you. Maybe there's something wrong, maybe my nose is off. Just get your guard down for a second and bink, explodes in off the cage and uses it to gain access to the body lock. And then from here, he'll be patient. We'll jump ahead a couple of times in this, but that shows his patience. Slowly working his way through the body lock, he's gonna hook the leg and then try to rotate you off the fence. Use his leg as a ledge. His man resists, but you gain kinesthetic learning during something like that. You learn from feel, so when he goes through it a second time, doesn't matter if his guy grabs the fence, he's gonna rip him to the ground. That body lock takedown gives you great positional control. Very, very smart. Again, patience. He's gonna go to inside the biceps or inside the armpits and use that to push himself up. Keep the limbs on the outside. That gains direct access to your targets. When he strikes, if he can take you out, he'll take you up. But he'll also get a reaction. Watch, the hands are gonna start coming up, right? The hands start coming up. So you start to think, hey, if I get this again, I can pop my head around one of the hands, and you'll see it right here. It goes knee inside. That'll gain him a real direct line to the face. Now the face push off, man rolls over, right ear to right tricep, and then cinch it in. Now his arm is gonna cut off the blood flow to one side of your neck, and your opponent's own shoulder, with the pressure from your ear, cuts off the blood flow to the other side. The brain needs oxygenated hemoglobin to stay conscious, and you'll either go out or you gotta tap. But you watch a sequence like that and you see how smart he is, what high percentage choices he makes. This guy's really, really fun, and it's awesome to have him in this tournament in this opening round. Fourth member of this One Night Wrecking Crew facing Matthew in round one is Lee Chadwick. 29 other men have fallen to this guy. Chadwick is so experienced. Byfield is the least experienced. Chadwick is the most experienced, but I really do love this matchup. Chadwick has beaten men all over planet Earth, Bellator, PFL, and I want to thank our family over at PFL. I love doing stuff with you guys, and thank you for letting me use this footage. Let's take a look at it. With Chadwick, man, it's all about aggression. It's the weapons that he uses, and he uses a ton of them, and he's always keeping traffic coming at you, but it's also intelligent positional aggression as well. Watch this. So here are strikes. You're going to move one of two directions when you have your back to the fence, and he knows that, and he uses that. So you see that track? He'll get his foot right close to that track. You're gonna move one of two ways, and he'll be able to anticipate and cut you off. Watch this. This is a really simple, beautiful example. You're gonna move to your right, one step around, and he cuts you off, and you feel the pressure again. Actually, freeze for 1 second. I want to tell you a quick story. I was working with Lyoto Machida at Karate Combat, and when you get to work with these geniuses all over the world, I worked with Stefan Struve at Levels Fight League. He's a brilliant martial artist. I was working with Lyoto, and Lyoto, and I were moving around. He said, just move around a little bit with me. And the first thing he identified is that my first martial art was Taekwondo, which is just, he can tell immediately. There's this subtle fingertip knowledge that true masters develop, where they just know things and can do things. And he asked me, do you know how to create pressure without throwing any punches or kicks? And I said, subtly or a little bit. I understand the concept. And he said, let me show you. And just using nonverbals and alpha postures and implying pressure, I could feel myself being jumpy and threatened. And it was absolutely brilliant to get to experience it. I love these moments where you get to learn and really feel these things. A true master is able to make you behave in certain ways just with their body language. Absolutely brilliant. Thank you, Master Lyoto, for that. All right, back to it. So you see how Chadwick uses position, uses pressure to try to wear you out, but it's also really smart because eventually you're gonna push back. You can either back into the cage or move one of two directions or come forward. And when you come forward, watch what he does. Finds the right time to take you down. Now, he's already exhausted you because it's mentally exhausting as well to be pressured all the time. Burning sugars, right? You're constantly burning sugars, you feel fatigue. So now you're tired, now you're psychologically stressed, and then he takes you down. And then usually it's in the third round where he's gonna be able to overwhelm you, drop you, put you down. It's a hard out, man, when you face this guy because he's one of those fighters who's gonna pick up his lunchbox, put on his hard hat and his work boots, and show up at the work site, which is the cage, to kick your ass. All right, there it is, October 27th. Stoked to be back in the Netherlands. Really excited to be back commentating Levels Fight League with my guy Callum and with Stefan Struve. It's just such a great show. I talk about this show all the time. There's something special here. It's the Dutch people. It's the venue. The LFL venue is so small and intimate and visceral. It's so amazing. The people are wonderful. But these fights are very meaningful. And they're special. It's got a unique flavor, and I just love it. Also, the LFL champions, 3 of them have gone on now to fight in the UFC, and LFL is really good for that. They bring these fighters along, they become champions in the Netherlands, and then move off and continue their journey somewhere else in the world. It's just such a great show to work with. I can't stress enough, please follow LFL MMA on YouTube, and please go to lflmma.com. It'll show you how you can watch it all, streaming all over the world. And if you're in the Netherlands, come out, come hang out. These are really, really special fights, and I love them. One night, light heavyweight Grand Prix, October 27th. Enjoy the hostilities, my friends.